YouTube family, welcome back to my channel. I'm Meffan and we are doing some prenatal pregnancy yoga today. So I'm in my final stages of like third trimester. So those of you that are in that phase as well, this is really going to be great and nourishing for you. But really any stage of pregnancy, this is going to be lovely. Those of you that have still got a lot of energy and your body's super mobile, this might feel like a slightly more beginner practice, but I promise you that everything we're doing is really benefiting you on this pregnancy journey, no matter kind of like how it feels in terms of the level of where you're at. And of course, just to note that every pregnancy is different, every pregnancy is unique, and really to listen to your body. Any pains that you might have, really checking in with that and consulting with a midwife or your medical professional before taking part. So I recommend for this practice having a block, a bolster, and a blanket. If you don't have a bolster, but you do have a block, then really definitely sitting on that to begin with, maybe even with the blanket rolled up as well, just making sure your hips are a little bit higher than your knees. And so closing down the eyes and sitting tall and just arriving here. So before we do anything, we just check in and we arrive in the practice in all those layers of the self. So let's just arrive in the physical body. Just noticing, witnessing parts of the body connected to the ground, connected to the floor. And becoming aware of how your body feels today. Maybe even bringing a hand to your bump, a hand to your baby. And as well checking in, how am I feeling today? Maybe even going that little bit deeper, how is baby feeling today? And making sure that we are making choices that are serving ourselves and this beautiful chapter of life that we are in right now. And let's arrive in the breath here together. Let's just take nice big inhales through the nose. And then just going to blow that exhale out through the mouth. Feeling yourself soften. Let's do 4 more like that. Breathing in. On the last 3, if you want to work with that hugging of the baby, so inhaling, letting everything relax, and the exhale, feel baby hugging in towards the spine, then you absolutely can. Last one here. Beautiful. And just releasing both hands down into the lap if they weren't already. Rolling those shoulders back a few times. And take the chin down to the chest. Keep the breath moving here, filling up into the back body. You're going to roll your head around to the left. So left ear comes to left shoulder. Your right arm is going to go all the way out to the right side, and your left hand just gently places on the top of that head. And then from here, you're going to go right fingertips up to the sky, down to the ground, to the sky, and down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. Gently releasing all the way back through neutral. Take chin down to the chest again. And then rolling the head over the other side. So right ear coming to the right shoulder, taking that left arm out long, right hand places on top of the head. We're not pulling the head down, it's just gently adding a little bit of extra weight here. And then more fingertips up to the sky and down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. Releasing, coming all the way back to neutral. You're going to take an interlace of the hands behind the head. So one thing in pregnancy that we really want to feel, especially as the bump gets bigger, everything starts to feel so much tighter, especially in the side body. So we're going to do a really yummy, yummy stretch now, one of my favorites. So we're going to take an inhale, feel this nice length through the crown of the head, and then we're going to take a side bend over to the right side. So side bend over, and your obliques are going to have to work here to keep you upright. Now, you're going to inhale and kind of gaze up to the sky as you open that left elbow a little more. And then exhale, you're going to bring that left elbow, close it down as you gaze towards your right leg. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, folding it down. 3 more here. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Again. And down. And the last one. And down. Coming all the way back through center, and we'll take it over to the other side. So we side bend over to the left, getting that opening through the right side body. And let's inhale, open that right elbow as much as you can. Can you gaze up? And then exhale, bring that right elbow down. Inhaling up. Exhale down. Inhaling up. Exhale down. 2 more. And then coming all the way back through center. If it feels good to you, you can just drop the head back for a moment, open through the throat. Maybe you take a breath and open the mouth. And then slowly coming all the way back through center. So you're going to come off of your bolster. So keep your bolster, I would roll your bolster just to the top of the mat so that if you've got any point that you need to, which could also be now technically, if you've got any wrist niggles, then you might want to place your elbows on your bolster instead. Now you're going to grab your block, and you might want to put a blanket over your block maybe. You're going to grab your block and you're going to place your left knee on top of your block, and we've got this kind of pelvic tilt happening here, which is really, really good for birth preparation. And so it feels a little bit weird. Your left foot is just hanging down, and you're going to take some really gentle cat-cows here. So inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. You're just going to keep moving here. One thing to be mindful of is on that inhale, when you open and lift the chest, this doesn't need to be a big deep back bend. Those of you that have been in a yoga practice for a long time and you're used to really, really pushing into that cow position, just allowing it to be more of an expansion through the chest and a lift of the head. Beautiful. Coming all the way back to neutral. So you're going to take your left leg off of the block, you can actually turn your right foot out first. As you lift that left leg, send it back behind you, and then we'll open into a supported side plank here. Opening that no, it's my left, my left arm, all the way up by the ear. You're going to make big arm circles and then follow the arm circles as you go with your gaze. Inhale, coming all the way up. Exhaling it forwards. Two more. And then from here, keeping that left arm up to the sky, you could take the fingertips by the ears. You're going to inhale, open here, and then exhale, just bring that left elbow down. You don't need to force it going down, just to where feels right for you. Inhale up, and then bringing it down. Up, and down. Last one. And then gently bring yourself all the way back around to neutral. We're going to shift that block over into the all fours position. So the block is now coming underneath the right knee. And you're just going to set yourself up in that all fours position and start moving through your cat-cows when you are ready. Really make this movement slow and intentional. There's nothing to force here. Last one. And then taking the weight into that left side, opening that left foot out, and coming to find that supported side plank. So the back foot is down. You're going to reach that right arm all the way up and start to take your arm circles. So 4 of these arm circles. Take the gaze with you. And then you're going to bring those fingertips to the side of the head, and we get those 4 little lowers down. So inhale, lift it up. Exhale, drop it to where feels right. Amazing. And when you're done, you can come all the way back to neutral. Move your block out of the way. Just pop it near the top of the mat because we're going to be using it again shortly. And we're just going to come into another variation of a side bend. You know that I'm really, really feeling into that today. So right leg's going to come back behind you. Actually, let's take a lovely calf stretch here for a moment. So really pushing through the hands, getting that lovely press back through the right heel. And then you're going to pick up that right foot and then just bring it on the diagonal behind the left knee. You might want to keep your foot on the mat for a bit of that resistance, so you can just shimmy yourself over to the right slightly. But the right foot is on the diagonal behind the left knee, and then you're going to take the gaze, so the head is going then all the way around over that left shoulder towards the back foot. And you're going to feel this a little bit more deeply if you just make sure that you're not collapsing through the mid body. So if you're in like a back bend here, you're not going to quite feel it as much in the QL muscle. So you want to try and maybe find just a slight rounding, ideally just towards a neutral point. And then gently release. And we'll take that to the other side. So left foot goes away. Let's take that calf stretch just for a couple of breaths first. And then picking up that left foot, sending it behind, and then taking the head over the right shoulder, looking all the way over. And then slowly unraveling. Beautiful. So, depending on where you're at, in how you're feeling, we're going to be coming towards a sort of downward facing dog, but you've got the option just to take it more as like a dolphin on your bolster, which may feel better, it may not feel better. So just kind of like deciding where you want to go. So hands down for downward facing dog, or you might want to take the elbows onto the bolster and then push yourself up. So finding your way to either option. And you're going to take your feet as wide as your mat. And you might want to step them in kind of slightly. So a little bit kind of close to your hands than you would be for a downward facing dog. And take a bend through the knees. Now we're just going to move with some hip rotation here. So you're going to have the toes facing out. And you're kind of going to squat down. It's almost like you're doing a little kind of mini goddess in your downward facing dog. And then you're going to turn your toes in and let your knees drop in. And then you're going to do the same again. So heels in, hips out, toes in, and knees in. You're just going to move between the two of these a couple of times. You might find yourself sliding back a bit, so you might have to just reposition yourself. That's fine. You can go 2 more, going each way. And then on your next one with the toes facing outwards, you're going to walk your hands all the way back and then drop your hips down, finding Malasana, so our yogic squat. If you'd like to sit on your bolster or a block here to support you, then please do. Palms can come together at the heart space, elbows to the inside of the knees, or you can place your fingertips down on the ground to support you here. Closing down the eyes, let's just breathe. You can always take that exhale through the mouth if that feels better. Ideally, always keeping those inhales through the nose. This connection to our parasympathetic nervous system through pregnancy and birth is super, super helpful and really important to keep us in a calmer state. So the more we can practice this nose breathing, the better. Three more breaths here. And then hands coming down. Just take some weight into the hands as you lift the bottom all the way up. Turn the toes to face forwards. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can have them out a little bit. Create space for the bump. If your bump isn't too big yet, then you can heel toe the feet a little closer together. We'll just take a forward fold here. Inhale, lengthen through the chest. Exhale, allowing yourself to fold. If, like me, you're in those later stages, then even feet as wide as the mat might feel a little too narrow if bump is quite low as well. So it might be you want to turn sideways on your mat and take it more as a Prasarita Padottanasana. I'll just show you. So this could also be an option. Reaching those arms forwards and just allowing that stretch into the hamstrings, but also in this variation you get a lovely little kind of heart opener as well. Walking the hands in, so wherever you are, you're going to be really careful bringing yourself up to standing. So if your feet are wide, you're going to want to heel toe them together and just place one hand on top of each knee and then push yourself all the way up. So whether you are sideways on your mat or you're at the back of the mat, we're all going to come to the front of the mat for a little mini standing section before we kind of, wind it down once again. So grabbing your block. Your block's going to be really helpful here. You may find that the block, actually, the size of the block, it doesn't serve you, and in which case you can just let it go. So your feet are going to be around about hip width apart, and you're going to place the block between the knees or just above the knees. So just stand here for a moment, finding Tadasana, closing down the eyes. Coming back to the breath. We're going to take some Utkatasana squats here, but with this block. So you're going to be squeezing the block as you drop it down. We'll inhale, arms reach up to the sky. So we'll inhale, and then exhale as you lift. Inhale. Exhale. If arms going up feels too much, you can just keep them on the hips. Let's go for 3. For 4. For 5. For 6. Keep it slow and controlled. For 7. Keep squeezing that block. For 8. 9. And on that 10th one, you're going to hold down, squeezing the block, and you're going to squeeze into the block 10 times for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Amazing. Lift yourself up, remove your block. Whew. Just place the block down to the ground in front of you. Taking the weight into the left foot, you're going to draw this right knee into the chest. Left hand can come onto the left hip. And you're going to take that right knee out to the side and just take a few hip circles here, holding onto that leg. So maybe 3, 4 going each direction. If you're near a wall and you want to hold onto it for some balance, then please do. And then you're going to slide the right hand down to the right ankle, bring that heel behind you. Finding a quad stretch here, you may want to balance yourself on something. Really driving the hips forwards. And then from here, without letting that right foot ping away, you're going to step all the way back, finding a high lunge. Now, your high lunge may be much shorter than mine, just being mindful of bump being there, wanting to widen the stance slightly, maybe wanting to shorten the stance slightly for any pelvic pain. Reaching the arms all the way up to the sky. And we're going to reach those arms forwards, down, and then all the way up again. Just 3 arm circles here, forwards, down, and all the way up. Last time. Beautiful, opening it out, finding a warrior 2. Roll those shoulders back, reaching the arms long. You can also do this position down on that back knee. Holding here, just getting a little bit of fire, just a little bit, into the body. And then let's lengthen that left leg. Bring the hands behind the head. Does not matter how low you go here. We're just going to go for some little oblique lowers through our Trikonasana. So we're just going to lower down and lift. They do not need to be big. For 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come all the way back up. Bend into that left leg. Left elbow comes onto the left knee. And then reach that right arm all the way up and over. And once again, this can be done down on that back knee. So you can have that back knee down, bent to the earth. If the arm being up as well, sometimes in pregnancy you feel that kind of like blood drain a little quicker. You can just bring your hand onto your bump, your baby, and just do it here. And you could also bring your left hand there as well if that feels good. And then slowly coming all the way back up through a warrior 2. You're going to straighten this left leg. If it feels good to you, you can just push forwards to the top of the mat, to that standing position again. For some of you, it might be that you need to kind of do it in stages. Absolutely fine. But when you get there, final thing on this side is we're going to take a figure 4 stretch. So the right ankle is coming onto the left knee. And we're going to sit into that squat once again. If you need to balance yourself on something, wall, chair, anything. We'll take a kind of slightly longer variation of this when we come to sit down. So just one more breath here. And lifting all the way up. Have a little moment to shake out, however vigorously or unvigorously you'd like to shake out. And then we're going to grab that block again because we've got 10 squats. So we're going to take our 10 squats, we're going to do all of that on the other side, and then we are going to start to chill out. So, grabbing the block between the knees, if that feels good. If not, you can just stay with those feet parallel. And we're going for 10 here. So, when you're ready, for 1, for 2, for 3, for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to hold that 10th one down, 10, and we're going to squeeze the block 10 times for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Standing all the way up. It's one of those things that suddenly just gets you in these later stages of pregnancy. So, let's take the weight onto the right leg and slowly find your balance as you lift that left knee up. Open the left knee to the side and just find 3 hip circles going in each direction. And when you're done with them, sliding that left hand down to the left ankle, finding that quad stretch, driving the hips forwards as you draw the heel towards the bottom. One more breath here. And then with control, stepping that left foot back, so finding that variation of a high lunge that's going to work for you here. Doesn't need to be super wide. Reaching those arms up, and we circle the arms forwards 3 times here. Really nice and slow and controlled, isolating that movement into the shoulders. Beautiful. Let's open ourselves out, find a warrior 2. Can roll those shoulders back, draw the arms long. Just breathe here as you ground into that back foot. And then starting to lengthen that right leg. Bring the hands behind the head. And we're going to take those 5 little oblique dips for 1, 2. These can be tiny. 3, 4, and 5. Beautiful. Can you sink it back down into the warrior 2, and then we'll bring right elbow onto the right knee. Reach the left arm up and over. Same options as before. If the arm up feels a little bit too much, you can just bring that hand or both hands onto your beautiful bump. And just hold here for a moment. And then releasing, coming back through the warrior 2 and making your way to the top of the mat however you need to get there. And just before we go down, back down to the ground, we're going to bring that left ankle onto the right knee and sit it back, finding that balanced standing figure 4. Just a couple of breaths here. And then standing up and slowly releasing. Well done. Have a little shake off if that feels good for you. Now we're going to bring ourselves down to the ground. You can get there however you want. It really depends where you're at with this, with your like hamstring mobility, hip mobility. We're just going to be working on a little bit of internal, external rotation. So you might find that you want to sit up on a block to give you a little bit more space. So give it a try, see what works well. And you're not taking the legs super wide here. You can see that they're kind of just a bit wider than my mat. And all I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be drawing my feet in, flexed, but really being mindful that the flex is coming from the ankle. We as humans have a tendency to just draw back our toes, but to stay very floppy in the ankle. So really working the ankle. And you're going to turn the toes in and then out. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. I'm going to stop saying it now, but just keep going. Beautiful. Okay, from here, you're going to bring the left leg in front in a 90-degree position, and then we won't take it in 90-90. We're going to take it more like so. So your left leg is going to be coming in front, and the kind of arch of your foot is going to be attached to your kind of wrapping around almost like your right knee, and then you've got this right leg in front of you. And again, you can do this sat up on a block, so to give you that little bit more height. Now from here, all we're doing is we're just going to rock that pelvis. Doesn't need to be super big movement. Just a nice gentle rock. A few more times. Okay, And then your left hand is going to go down by the side of you. And you're going to take an inhale, and we're actually going to lift the hips as we reach up. So we lift the hips and bring it down. We're going to do 5 like that. Lift and down. Lift and down. Last 2. Last 1. And down. Beautiful. Switching it over to the other side. So right leg is coming in front, connecting to that left knee, nicely bent in. And just to begin with, we rock the pelvis. You're going to obviously notice a difference in which side probably feels a little bit more open. It might be that you needed a block for one side but not for the other, so just being mindful of that. And then we're going to go for those 5 lifts up. So right hand coming down by the side of you. And you're going to lift up for 1. And down. For 2. And down. For 3. 4. Last 1. And release. Beautiful. Bringing those legs around in front of you. So we will take our seated figure 4. An option here to make this a bit more restorative, if you wanted to make it more restorative, is that you could just lean back onto your bolster, and we'll take our right ankle on top of the left knee and just have this kind of slightly more reclined position without having to press into the hands. It actually feels lovely. I think I'll stay here. Usually I would be pushing up on my hands and kind of making this more and more compact, but actually this allows me to be more actively aware of my external rotation in my right hip. So I'm doing more of the work actively in the hips rather than just finding the stretch through pushing my body forwards. And let's actually move here. So let's draw the knee in and push it away. In and away. For 3. For 4. And 5. I'm just holding here. And then slowly release. And we'll take that onto the other side. So left ankle onto that right knee. And just finding your position. And again, if it feels good for you, you can take those 5 little in and outs. And then slowly releasing, pushing yourself all the way up. So you're going to come to seated, and you may want to sit yourself on a block here. Both legs are out straight. You're going to take your right leg. Now, depending on where your bump is, my bump is feeling very, very big. So I'm going to have to take my right leg pretty wide here, and I'm just going to hug my right leg, my right knee with my right arm. I'm going to inhale, reach my left arm up and over, and then I'm going to take a nice juicy twist, opening through that twist. So I'm opening my left shoulder, so it's an open twist, so we're not squishing baby or anything. There's nothing wrong with twists, by the way. It's one of those things that people tend to be very scared of. Even a closed twist, gently, depending on, the chapter of your pregnancy you're in, is absolutely fine. So just being mindful of that. And And gently releasing. You can take a little closed counter twist if that feels nice. And then you're going to release and then bring the other leg in. So you're going to hug that left knee with the elbow. Inhale, reach that right arm all the way up. And then right hand behind you. Finding that delicious twist. And gently, when you're ready, releasing, maybe a little counter twist. And then coming into a final little Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees dropping out. Again, you can be sat up on your block or on your bolster, taking an inhale and then exhaling, leaning forwards, finding your fold here, just closing down the eyes. And let your head drop, hang heavy. And then slowly lifting yourself all the way up. So you've got options here. Again, depending on where you're at in your journey, you may feel really comfortable laying back on your back for a Savasana. You may want to lay on your side. I'm personally going to go into where we started, sat on my bolster, just to ground back in. So I'm kind of like taking a variation of Savasana here. If you've got many, many props, and you can create your throne, then please do. But wherever you're going to, just arriving there. So whether you are on your back, side, or sat up with me, let's take 2 big releasing breaths here, closing down the eyes. Another one like that, just sighing it out. Just feeling yourself wherever you are. Feeling heavy and supported into the earth, feeling this sense of and just for the final few moments of our practice together, feeling yourself heavy and supported. Maybe even a sense of feeling lifted by the earth beneath you, by the practice, by the gratitude that you have for your body, your baby, your mind, for showing up here today. And just keeping the eyes closed and softening here while I read you a beautiful poem. This poem is called Mother in Waiting by Jess Ehrlichs. So, it's often said that I am made for this, though sometimes I'm unsure, because a mother wasn't waiting in the girl I was before. She didn't lie in restless slumbers, memories made of night, and when the sky's outfit would change, she'd struggle to see the light. She'd never been so still before, while her heart continued to travel. She'd never felt so put together, while the stitching of her unraveled. She'd never known the waves of pain that were woven into her bones, or how to move without their weight, or how to dance alone. She'd never been this shape before, her body sore and broken. Where life did grow, her heart a home, its door forever open. She'd never known a relationship could balance on mountain ridges, an ocean in between them as they built their tiny bridges. She'd never known how love could change a person to a place, how home is found in the way we're held, in the smell or in their face. She'd never felt this kind of weight, or how time could hold its breath, how silence could be deafening, how to give when there's nothing left. She'd never had to pretend to know, question countlessly if she was wrong, and learn one day she wasn't pretending and that she'd known all along. Her feelings never leaked like rivers, her time never so poor, yet richer in the ways that didn't matter as much before. She didn't know that nature could be placed upon her chest, how watching them grow was a type of calm that meant she would never rest. So though they say I was made for this, I'm not sure I agree. It wasn't I that made the mother, but motherhood that made me. Just letting those words, any of them that resonated, just wash over you for a moment, letting go of anything that didn't. And when you feel ready, without rushing, you can just very gently start to bring some awareness back into the physical body, wiggling fingers, toes, circling the ankles and the wrists. Gently bringing yourself up to join us in a seated position. If you'd rather take an extended Savasana, then absolutely just staying there. Those of you seated will take one hand to baby, one hand to heart. Keeping the crown of the head reaching you tall, up to the stars as you ground into earth, feeling supported. And we'll close this practice with one big, beautiful releasing breath. Let's take an inhale. And let it go. Thank you all so much. Sending you and your baby a lot of love. If you have enjoyed practicing with me here on YouTube, then please do come and join me over on the Soul Sanctuary. There is a whole collection of prenatal classes, but also 1,000 other classes. If you are somebody that loves yoga, meditation, mindfulness, all that good stuff, we have Pilates, we have Qigong. Come and check it out. I'll leave the link in the bio. But right now, all you need to do is go and drink some water and just relax. Sending you so much love. Bye-bye.